Hello.
Hello! Welcome back to 俺たちの漫言はこれからだ, or
Us.
Orekara for short, the podcast where we talk about Weekly Shonen Jump and our outlook on the magazine. My name is
Yeah.
Maxi Hamburger,
I'm
and
Principal Fun.
yes, to my left, you're right. So I'm the yellow elf, and you are Percival Fine, the cat boy from Yarnum.
Yarnum. I
Bloodborne
have
on
never been in
PC.
Yarnum. It's,
Any minute now.
yeah, gonna drive my cart around in there. It'll be great.
Alright, that exists. Anyway, this is not about FromSoft. This is about Weekly Shonen Jump. This week is issue number 44 of 2022, and we are reading almost everything. We're reading 15 series out of 20 that are currently running. What we're not reading is Mission Yozakura Family, Mashle, Undead Unluck, and Highschool Family. So if you're here for those series, you're out of luck.
You will be sorely disappointed.
But also, something that's kind of disappointing is that on hiatus is One Piece. And big surprise, Hunter x Hunter is on hiatus again.
Big surprise.
And RuriDragon also kind of missing for
Yeah.
no explained reason.
Yeah, she's at the mountain learning about her past.
No, last time we saw her, she just exploded her whole classroom.
Yeah, the end. What a sad ending to that. It was so cute at the beginning.
She didn't even tell her classmates to not go to school that day.
Oh. She really should have, but she even herself didn't know that it's gonna explode.
That's true.
Anyhow.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, shall we?
Good one. Yeah. Well, first the cover. It's a cover. It's got sports on it. Yeah.
3 different types of sports because
Wow.
Blue Box is getting the color spread in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And to my surprise, this is chapter number 71, where they really just go into the training camp arc.
Oh, okay.
This week, they just announced it, like, oh, this is coming up. And I was assuming this is going to take, like, at least a few more weeks until they finally do it. But they just, like, leave immediately. Show me the color spread.
Color spread.
Give me the Japanese one.
Yeah, once again, the title text in English just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
They need to change it. They keep reusing that same one. Well, the Japanese title is like it's been getting variations. I don't know why they refuse to change that.
The Japanese one is getting such a variation that the author himself was like, "Oh, this week we got a new logo. Look, check it out. It's so cool."
Yeah.
And I gotta agree, it looks way better than the one that they use, the one that they made with Windows 98, and
yeah, it's really slick looking. Looks like it could be a movie title or something.
Although finally we get like a big cast of characters that aren't just Taiki, friend number 1, Hina, and Shinatsu Senpai.
Yes.
We can almost name all of these characters.
Can you? I can't.
I think the glasses guy is actually named Kyo, but
okay.
I don't know the name of Hina's friend. I don't know the name of Shinatsu Senpai's friend. But I do know that her annoying sister-in-law is
Ayumi, right?
Is Ayame, sorry.
Ayame,
and
okay, close.
in front is Haryu Senpai.
He's the leader of the pack. Is he the one who's really good in basketball, or is he another badminton guy?
No, that's the badminton guy.
Okay. Did they even have a name for the basketball guy who showed up recently? I don't even remember.
It did get mentioned, but it was over so quickly I forgot. Okay. He's just the hot basketball guy.
Yeah.
If you see him, you will know.
We will know. So what's going on in their training camp? Yeah,
so at first we get to see like actual training, something that I kind of really enjoy seeing.
Because it's a sports manga.
Yes, exactly. It's supposed to be a sports manga, or at least I wish it was.
Yes.
100%. Then, unfortunately, they do miss a few opportunities on the next page. that I highlighted is where you see something different. Like the first one is just a montage of NPCs, like extras doing sports things, and
yes,
on the
this is
next
just
page,
setting the scene of everyone is exercising.
Yeah, and then on the next one, you can actually see like some of the characters, like the hot basketball guy and Chinatsu Senpai and her friend, who's kind of like the prince type. You can see them running, and then there is this one scene that's just supposed to. Well, yeah, it's supposed to have a little bit more personality to it, where the gymnastics kids are on a bus while everybody else has to run. And some of the people are like, "Oh, that's not fair. Why do we have to run? Why do they get to ride the bus?" And they're like, "Oh, that's because our gym is somewhere else, and it's so far away. We can't just run there." And I feel like this is a missed opportunity to have them react in like, "No,
Get the sort of thing like in One Piece last week, where you show the difference in characters by having a small panel of each one of them's different reactions. Yeah, I like that.
But in this case, everybody is really normal, like smiling as if nothing has happened. And to be fair, that's realistic, but that's not what I want. I don't want realism.
The recurring theme of this series. It's realistic, but not in a way that makes it more entertaining.
In a bad way. Yeah, and I think we are finally at the point where we could get people with more over the top reactions, or maybe some of the classmates who are really suffering, and some who are like totally acing the training.
Yeah,
and right now we just get everybody
difference in ability as well as personality, but no, everyone's
we don't get that. This is something that I think was one of the strengths of Eyeshield 21, for example, which is my personal favorite sports manga in Shonen Jump. I think it's the absolute best. It had the dream team of the Dr. Stone writer and the One Punch Man artist.
Yeah, that was a really good looking manga. So even though I'm American, I don't care about football at all, but I really enjoyed that series.
Eyeshield 21 makes you want to get into football.
And then you finish reading it or watching it, and you're like, oh, never mind. I don't actually have interest in the game.
Yeah. It did have one really shitty anime season.
Aw, that's disappointing.
So I think that's why nobody nowadays cares about it, even though it had like the pedigree of magnificence.
Yeah, it's just a fun series too. It's got fun characters.
Like, even if you don't care about sports, everybody's so interesting in their own kind of way.
Yeah. I think it also has some very unrealistic training methods.
Yes, they do get into.
It shows the other team like training properly. It's like we're not gonna do like them. They're so scientific, not like us. We're doing it the real way, meaning the inefficient way.
We could have a whole episode just about Eyeshield 21. The whole point is that I just love Eyeshield 21, and it kind of like ruined me for any other sports series that's not Eyeshield 21.
Yeah, well, maybe someday we'll reread it and do a little review. Anyway,
I might. I have all of the volumes in Japanese. It's and it's so much better in Japanese because everything is a pun. This is the creme de la creme of
Didn't you say puns. That was a bad thing for stuff like Hero Academia?
Well, that's the thing. Hero Academia is shit at puns. Hero Academia, like the guy
wishes it was Eyeshield. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because My Hero Academia has a character whose name is literally control people. Okay, and his power is called mind control.
Wow, what a surprise!
So, what a surprise! In Eyeshield 21, it's always some kind of elaborate, like, pun, like maybe somebody who has psychic abilities has a name that kind of sounds like Urigella if you spell it in Japanese.
What do you think about Psyche K as that sort of fun name?
Kinda, and that in that vein, because even Psyche K is already way above any kind of name they put into My Hero Academia. Anyways, it makes more sense if you can Japanese. If you can Japanese, I would say ranking of puns. Okay, pun names. Aishu 21, Phoenix Wright, then a whole lot of nothing. Then wait, is My Hero Academia? Is that also already on the bottom? Somebody worse?
There's got to be more.
Anyways, that's the ranking for now.
Tell me more about Blue Box. What's going on
I
here?
forgot to mention that in Blue Box, they are on this joint training camp trip with all of the important characters: the basketball team, the badminton team, and the gymnastics team.
Yeah,
what a coincidence!
All the warriors,
all of the main characters just happen to have training camp
same
at the
time,
same location at the same time. What a coincidence!
It's like it was meant to be.
Yes, very convenient, almost too convenient. And strike the almost, it's too convenient.
Yeah.
So here's another bit that I kind of don't like. It's just reinforcing a slow cooking conflict that's been happening for a few weeks now. Haryu senpai, who's always been actually like a really good senpai, like being constructive and supportive and kind of being a dick in the right moments, has switched to like complete asshole mode because he's sulking. Because do you remember when Yusa came over from the other school and Taiki had this big match against him where he slipped on his own sweat, and it was very embarrassing, but in the end he kind of pulled through and won.
Yeah, everyone was impressed.
That was he won against Yusa at his peak, right? And then they tried to do another match, and everybody was like, "No, you are both tired. You have to stop." And then Haryu senpai goes like, "Oh well, I'll do a match against you." And then he lost against Yusa when he was already tired. He's so pissed about it that he's just rejecting Taiki from now on all the time, because he's like, "Oh shit, this kid, this first year is way better than me already. I will stop his progress by not training with him because he's the best on the team." So if they were training together, Taiki would definitely gain something from that. Yeah, like why don't you take the opportunity to be like, "Oh, this guy is better now than me. Maybe if I train with him, I will surpass him again," right?
Yeah.
No, have to block our progress, dude. I have to be an asshole about
for selfish reasons. I want to be
so stupid.
It should be me.
Then on the next page, there's Taiki being in super simp mode again because he's like,
everyone will see her coming out of the bath.
Yes, I hate it so much.
It should only be me.
Such a why would
not
you
even in the bath, just coming out of the bath.
Yes, exactly. Why would you be so focused on like, "Oh, this is such a special sight. Only I'm allowed to see it. Now everybody else is allowed to see it. I can't take it anymore. This is too much." I really dislike this side of him. If he at least was like, "Oh, I did see it, like the hint of a nipple," but he's not like that. He's just like, I want to be the one who gets the
before
SR
she's dried
version
off yet.
I hate it so much. Then the Connie-looking motherfucker gets out the King's Game card, like King's Game card version, which is,
what is
if you don't know, King's Game is basically a mix between Spin the Bottle and Simon Says.
Okay.
Where normally it's like one person is the king. He's like, "Okay, number 1, number 4, you have to kiss now." And you have to kiss because it's one of those games that's peer pressuring you.
It's like Spin the Bottle, but one of the players is the bottle.
Yes.
Pointing at people.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like this is an extremely strong and terrible derailment from what the series usually is, because I would say this is the equivalent of like in Sakamoto days if they were at the JCC and they were going into a class that's teaching you how to seduce people in order to assassinate your target.
Yeah.
Like sexually, okay? Or if, like, for instance, in Alien's area, Sharaku and Tatsumi investigated undercover an alien brothel, like with full, like with 3 boob.
Yeah, that wouldn't
girls.
be in Shonen Jump. That would be in a different magazine.
Yes, and I would say, in my experience, King's Game is basically one of those opportunities you pull out to make people almost kiss and almost get a little bit too touchy.
But we've already got that almost kissing happening with the play. So
but that was like not in a way where somebody can go, I'm going to make them do this, and everybody's going to watch it.
I do like Ayami cringing about it.
Yeah, she doesn't like it because she's genre. She has genre savviness. She knows what this means, and I would say unless you are Ichigo 100% or Toraburu, you can't like straddle the fine line immediately between like naive teen romance and horny teenagers wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
Which this could be, but it's not, and that's why it kind of pisses me off that they just pull it out to advance the plot into a direction where it normally shouldn't go, because this is not the pace that has been established. So one of the things that's on the card is like Chinatsu Senpai has to get a makeover in her hair, and everybody's laughing like, that's so funny, but actually not. It looks really dumb. It's not even like it's not even on the level where you're like, it's so stupid. It's funny how stupid it is. It's just lame. It's a nothing burger.
They tried.
And then the final thing. Oh, by the way, Taiki his friend, the glasses guy, was doing a deadpan, like you have to talk like a cat. So I'm assuming in Japanese he's like ending all of his sentences in ya. And Taiki's the whole time he's like praying, like, Chinatsu Senpai, please get that card. Please get that card. I want you to talk like a cat. And then she just gets this card. Then Ayame is trying to rig the game because she knows there is a card that's supposed to make you stare into another person's eyes for like 10 seconds, which I know is a psychological thing that actually increases your likelihood of like falling in love with this person, because you kind of share this intimate moment somehow. But then the Connie guy shuffles the deck again, and Taiki gets a card that's even worse, which is you have to shout your feelings to the one you love. And he even gets...
cliffhanger?
Yes, that's a cliffhanger. He even gets the visual of like, because he's like, well, do you mean like my parents? And they're like, no, romantically. You have to say you're literally like the person you would kokuhaku to. And then he gets the visual of, you remember the 100% coffee.
The coffee, yes, 30. I remember the coffee.
He gets the visual and looks at Hina and Chinatsu Senpai.
Oh no.
So the implication is, now he's going to actually go for it and say that he loves both of them, for example, right?
But that would also be cringe.
That would be cringe. It's not going to happen. This is definitely a red herring.
Someone's going to break in and stop him from saying it. Yeah.
Yes. My best guess is the teacher is going to say, "What are you doing? You can't have boys and girls in the same."
Stop this kind of horny game. We don't want that on a school trip.
Exactly, but I've read comments where people were like, "Oh, he's just going to say badminton."
I also don't want that.
So I'm giving props to the training montage, but everything else was kind of not so good, so that's why I'm giving it 61 points.
Unfortunate. All right, moving on. We got
next
Sakamoto
manga,
Days.
Sakamoto Days.
Yeah, chapter 89, Sensei.
Yes, in this chapter, Satoda Sensei fights Kanaguri while Club Jam hypnotizes all of the students.
Yes.
In the JCC.
It becomes a zombie manga.
Kind of. It starts off with a fight, which I thought, up until this point that you see here in the screenshot, this was actually pretty good. It was cool because we know Satoda Sensei is a badass, and we do know that Kanaguri basically has a stand.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird that he comments on not recognizing Satoda Sensei, even though he has made a movie about her, and even though he is a member of the Order, and she has history with the Order, and she's basically the legendary CQC master. Everybody should know her.
And, well, maybe it's one of those things where she used to dress really differently, so he didn't recognize her at first. Possibly. Then if she gets really popular, then they can make an alternate version of her, her figures.
I've always thought about she kind of looks like the artist drew her as a normal person and then just added a few wrinkles to make her look old, but it's not convincing because wrinkles alone don't make.
It's like, like when you see those pranks when people do makeup to make themselves look older. And then
Yeah,
and then they do like really acrobatic stuff or really athletic things.
Like getting stuck in cement and stuff, and then asking people to give him a sandwich and stuff.
I wasn't thinking about that one, but yeah, there's sometimes where people can get makeup to look older, but it's not entirely convincing.
Right. I was just thinking it's the same kind of logic, like when a shoujo artist has to draw the dad of a character for the first time, and it's like, shit, I can only draw hot boys.
I don't know how to draw old people.
I just draw this line on his mouth, and that makes him look older. Perfect, nailed it. I think that's what's going on with Satoda Sensei. The more she shows up, I think the better the artist gets at drawing her, and I suspect she'll look the best in the anime. But
probably.
Yeah, I guess that's the reason why Kanaguri didn't recognize her, because she just doesn't look her best.
And you said that he basically has a stand in this chapter with this fight scene particularly. I was once again like, this series, it claims to be in the a more grounded world where it's just assassins and no magic, but combining Sakamoto's disguise, which is basically a transformation.
Yes.
And then here, where Kanaguri gets thrown out of a 5th floor window and crashes through a greenhouse roof.
Oh no, that's
totally fine
for the course. That's okay. Everybody in this world who is a badass can take a lot of beating, and that's, I think, I shouldn't, but I've taken that for granted for now. At this point, you have to make a distinction between does somebody have magic abilities or not,
or are they just tough? Because I guess it also goes along with it's the same genre as John Wick, where in one of the movies he literally gets thrown off a roof.
Yeah, it's supposed
crashes
to be
through a bunch of what do you call them? Like the awnings above a sidewalk. And then he just somehow doesn't die. It's a lot like that. Where if you're an assassin, it makes you super tough.
But I suppose that Sakamoto Days wouldn't exist if John Wick never existed. It's gotta be a direct inspiration.
Yeah.
Either way, Kanaguri does kind of explain his powers. I'm saying powers because he says he doesn't have assassination techniques, he only has filmmaking techniques. And I think that kind of explains more what we've seen so far, because, for instance, in the next shot, Satoda Sensei grabs his arm where he carries the camera, and she can't move it because... steady. Yes, he has the most steady camera wielding?
What do they call it? Camera, when you're a cameraman. What's their
holding?
What's their skill?
Just hold the camera.
Yeah, I don't know. Not just holding.
I wouldn't know what it is in German, but that doesn't help us. Either way.
Either way, it's like how you know the meme about cops, right? And how they should just let the cameraman arrest the guy because the cameraman is always like way closer to the criminal than the cops are.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's exactly like that. He's filmed so many assassinations that now he's become as strong as the strongest assassins.
I think he can. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Akira didn't like recognize that her own skills are basically assassination techniques. She just sees the path, right?
Yes, it's an ability. Basically, what he's saying is that he's really tough and he has these physical abilities, even though he doesn't practice martial arts the way that Satoru Sensei and the others do. So he's not like he's not using guns and knives and stuff. He's using a camera and a clapperboard, but then he's so strong with them that he can keep up with assassins using his film skills.
At worst, he's just calling whatever he's doing filmmaking, even though it's clearly assassination techniques.
Yeah.
But I think this goes beyond, because I think whenever he's like, I have to do this shot, he can just pull it off, which probably means he can kind of teleport.
You know what?
Maybe
you know what we would
edit.
What would
on the spot,
solidify whether he has a stand or not?
Yeah,
would be whether if you catch him without his camera and clapperboard, if he's easily defeatable.
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be the solution.
Yeah. Get rid of the camera and clapperboard so he can't be like, oh, I'm doing this shot or I'm ending this scene. And then he'd be like, oh, I need to fight someone, just like directly fight them. I don't know how to do that.
He'll just run away.
Yeah.
But chances are that he maybe, like, this is something that I suspect and I would think is probably both cool and stupid at the same time, is if he could literally edit in real time, like reality.
Oh.
Because we've seen him do that.
Yes. Yeah,
somebody did something and then he almost like in the movie Funny Games, he just rewound and was like, nope.
Yeah.
It's gotta be this way.
Yeah,
it was a direct call out to that movie.
I remember that because you don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not a movie I would recommend.
Yeah, even though I guess some filmmakers liked it so much they did another one.
Oh no!
I think there's a German version and then there's an English version that's a remake.
Well, I think Austrian.
They liked it so much. They're like, let's do it again.
Yeah, as they do with movies that get way too successful in their home. Oh, that's actually not true. Funny Games wasn't even successful. Like nobody's ever heard of.
How do they pick what to do foreign language remakes of?
Probably if it gets just like a prize at Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah. I'm wondering how many of those are better than the originals and how many are worse. Because I think a lot of people know about the Old Boy American remake.
Yeah.
Which is weirdly shot for shot copied, and then they somehow just made it worse. Yeah. Look, we're going to do it the same, but we're going to change tiny things just to make it not as good.
Yeah. Spike, what's his name? Spike Chunsoft?
Not Spike Chunsoft, Spike Lee.
Spike
trivia about Spike Lee, by the way, for the movie buffs out there.
Yeah.
Spike Lee and Ang Lee were classmates in film school.
What a
They're not related, though. Yeah.
I want them to be related, like secretly.
That would be funny.
It would be so funny.
No, they're not. Yeah. Anyway, so we get to see more of Club Jam. And he's in the AV room hypnotizing people into stepping on him and whipping him.
We finally everybody's been waiting for this. The explanation for why he's wearing Shibari bondage gear.
Ropes, yeah.
It's because he loves pain. He loves it so much that he hypnotizes people to hurt him. And
but it's not right when you've hypnotized people to do it. He wants people to hurt him for real, which makes me think he's got to be also, like Kanaguri, very, very strong in a regular fight because
probably
he
can just
like, oh, no one can beat me in a fight, so I have to hypnotize them to do it. But then it's not the same.
What I liked about this scene is that the people who are hypnotized are fully conscious and are like, no, I hate this.
They don't like.
I don't want this.
This assassin is like, it feels wrong to step on someone's head.
Yeah. Either way, Jam's power also defies logic, so that's
It's a
why
stand. Anyone
him
who hears him clap
having
gets
yeah
hypnotized.
him having mind control powers is, I would say, in the same direction as uh Kanaguri having King
Yeah, the
Crimson.
film powers, basically. If only the, what do you call them? The Zenin clan from Jujutsu Kaisen had powers more like Kanaguri, then they would have been
Right.
more fun. Because I don't like their power.
Um, I will give Sakamoto props for kind of like putting pieces on the chessboard
Mm-hmm.
and putting them all together, because we knew of Satoda Sensei that she puts students first,
Yes.
right? And then she also gets into a situation next where she does really have to protect her students,
Yes.
literally with her life.
Yeah.
And the problem is she shouldn't have said that. Kanaguri didn't know this about her. She says, like, well, I have to stop you before you... I have to stop you until my students are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Enter a bunch of students. Kanaguri, like, oh, I
He
can
knew her
milk this.
weakness. Yeah.
And then she immediately gets defeated. By the way, in this in the shot before that, I thought she already had lost her eye.
Mhm.
But then we did see in the
Right.
next panel that she was still opening her eye with the pupil still intact, and it's just bloody.
Yeah.
I think if she's about to die, you might as well do that, just to build up Kanaguri as that much of a super evil bastard villain.
Yes, he has been well built up by this due to us having seen in previous chapters not only Sakamoto talking about Satoda Sensei's abilities, but also the fact that Shin and Akira and Natsuki couldn't beat her altogether.
Didn't even touch her.
A tough fight. Yeah. Well, Shin got one hit in. That's all.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a good one.
Yeah, and then he immediately got thrown. So
I give this chapter 74 points.
Nice. Yeah, I would say 7 out of 10 is a pretty good fight, and looking forwards to next time when the main team is going to have to fight Kanaguri.
I just wish we had seen a little bit more cool stuff between Satoda Sensei and Kanaguri, because both of them are really capable and like on top of this series. Few people are stronger than them.
Yes. Now, question for prediction for next time. Since everyone here is assassins, do you think that they're going to have to prioritize taking down Club Jam ASAP, or do you think they're going to end up having to kill a bunch of the other students since they've gotten zombified?
No, they're going to avoid that, because now that Sakamoto himself is on the scene, his philosophy is not to kill anybody anymore. So nobody gets to die once he's involved.
Okay.
That's the thing.
All right. Well,
anyways,
we'll see. Because
next
coming
manga.
Up next, we got Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Chapter 199, Resentful Names.
So close to the big number.
Yeah, the big 200. So the beginning of this chapter, we get Noritoshi and Maki bonding over. Basically, they're both like, "Oh, we got parental issues, so we'll be friends now because our clans just didn't treat us well." Oh,
is this a flashback?
No, this is happening, I think, around the same time. Yeah, simultaneously.
Huh.
Even though I think the entire beginning part with Noritoshi and Maki is it a flashback? No, maybe it's at the same time. Either way, what's going on in this scene is Noritoshi's mom is telling his younger brother about him. After Noritoshi says that he always resented that his mom gave him the name Noritoshi because
so bad about that name. I mean,
well, it was explained. It was explained before.
Nice.
You know how Kenjaku the guy who's
Yeah.
currently possessing Geto's body,
Yeah.
is immortal, and he
Yeah.
parasitizes people's brains.
Yes.
So, like 200 years ago, he parasitized the brain of one of the leaders of the Kamo clan named Kamo Noritoshi. And he turned him into the most evil Jujutsu sorcerer of that generation. And since then, because I guess until now, people didn't know about Kenjaku, then the Kamo clan just said, oh, Noritoshi is a banned name now because Kamo Noritoshi was such an evil guy. Even though it was, all of his evil was caused by being possessed by this other evil sorcerer.
Yeah.
So that's why. And then this part is his mom explaining to his younger brother that, I gave him that name because I actually don't like the clan. So I wanted him to leave the clan.
Kind of like when you call your newborn baby in 1945 Adolf.
Yeah, exactly. Then he'll have to leave the country.
Yes. Okay, I get this now.
Yeah.
There's more that I don't get.
Yeah, this part. So this is all stuff that happened off screen before, while we were following the other people's fight. Because we haven't seen this comedian guy for a while, right?
For a while, yeah.
And we haven't seen Yuji and Fushiguro for like over a year.
Fushiguro was a little bit more recent than Itadori.
Yeah.
Itadori was, I think, in the 300 days, right?
Yes, but it says in universe it's been 12 days since we've last seen them. So within those 12 days, they've been, going around in the culling game, getting allies, and they met up with this comedian guy and got him on board with their plan to use the points to change the rules.
Mm-hmm. Who's the angel girl? Has she shown up before?
I have no memory of her, so I think she's a new character.
I could have sworn they knew her.
Okay, well,
already.
It seems like my assumption was that Itadori and Fushiguro recognize her because they've been using, what do you call that little monster that tells you information about the calling game?
I know what you mean. I don't know what it's called.
They've been looking up information on it all this time. So I think they know stuff about all the different players wherever they are.
So I think
this page is just like, oh yeah, this is how they met up. They literally just randomly met each other.
When Itadori says Patrash, I was a little bit surprised because I thought, oh, is that the name of somebody? I just don't know. But I think this is just a reference to the Dog of Flanders. Because in the end, that's the one super sad. What is it? Is it a story that could turn into an anime where the boy? How does it go again? The boy wants to become a painter. Eventually what was it? He wins. He almost wins a competition, which would have secured his future, but somehow something super unfortunate happens.
The dog die?
And then he eventually has to find shelter in a church, and he freezes to death, and he dies while looking at a picture of angels, and then the angels come down and pick him up, and also the dog. And Patrash is the name of the dog, and I think everybody in Japan knows it because
being carried by an angel means you're Patrash.
Yes.
All right.
It's a kind of runabout reference.
Yes, very, very runabout reference, but now we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Tsumiki?
I think that's a
I
friend
have so
of
many
his
questions.
Because I remember before, one thing they talked about is they had a friend who got an ability and is in the calling game now, but actually their ability is non-combat. So they're like, well, she's gonna die if anyone tries to fight her for her points. So we need to make rules to change it. Yeah. So, it's not just a friend. It's Fushigoro's sister.
Oh,
So that's
I
why.
see.
Yeah, so Fushiguro is kind of on the Jotaro path of he needs to save a relative by
I see.
killing all of the immortal bad guys.
I see. So they reconvene in a hotel
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and talk about all of their successes, like, oh, we beat this guy and we beat this guy, and now we have this many points, and now we have this new character among us who's not just the angel who we have been looking for some reason, but also this person has a skill that we can use, and then it's revealed that this angel, what's her name? Kurusu. Cruz. Anna Cruz. Also has some kind of demon inside her, like Itadori has, and the demon starts talking for her.
Just like how Sukuna does.
And she has so many mysteries.
Lots of mysterious setups, yeah.
Like, this demon is about to say something that they did, and she's like, no. But it continues talking, and
it goes onto her hand, right?
Yeah,
because she covers up the mouth on the side of her face, and then it just appears on her hand.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
It keeps talking, and it has this. I would say I love this moment where it's like, well, this is against God's law, so it's wrong. And she goes like, God,
it's basic. This is basically source. I made it up.
But this is. It's a kind of cool explanation that somebody's like, oh, I just call my beliefs that it's God, right?
Yeah.
But the way it's framed, right? The way how Fushiguro like notices, God, wait a minute, we're sorcerers. We fight spirits. God don't real. And this new demon character going, oh no, don't ignore that. That's just something I say all of the time. It's basically God real.
Yeah, well,
it's like almost admitting, like,
he's an angel after all. Yeah,
I really like this moment.
You have an angel without a god after all.
It's true. Yeah, and the demon / angel.
Which, unfortunately, is not as cute as the one from Chainsaw Man.
We don't know that. We don't know what the angel inside Cruz looks like.
Well, the regular form. I just don't like that.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's true.
Because we also in Chainsaw Man, have we seen the Angel Devil's transform version?
I don't think so, and I don't even remember what the Angel Devil has, like what his power is.
If you touch him, you lose years off your lifespan.
I see.
And so he's kind of like Rogue, but also I think he can use years of lifespan taken from other people to summon weapons and attacks.
Does he even do anything? In my mind, he does do stuff. The Angel Devil does literally nothing; just hangs out.
Oh, he does stuff. He helps Aki out in the typhoon. He's the one who does the killing blow on Bomb. So,
are you sure about that?
Yes, yeah. That's why there is this sad chapter where Denji is in the cafe all alone. He's like,
maybe I have to reread all of the Chainsaw Man manga.
Yeah. Get the physical copies and reread it all.
Yes, I should do that. But back to Jujutsu Kaisen, where the cliffhanger is that Ryomen Sukuna like taps on Itadori's shoulder. Yeah, like, by the way, before we go any further into this discussion, I'm the disgrace one that she wants to kill.
Yes, because, well, yeah, you missed saying that one of the things that that this angel says is that its goal is to kill all of the reincarnated players.
Yes.
And the main team is like, oh, okay, well...
we're into that. We love it. Let's do it.
But they also say, like, that's a lot to do, all of them. And then the angel is like, well, only one. I'll settle for just one. If you kill one, then I'll help you. They're like, okay, which one? They're like, the disgraced one. And then it zooms into Yuji's eye because he's getting a message from Sukuna deep inside himself saying, oh, by the way, that's me.
Gets a DM.
Yeah, he gets
Sukuna
a DM.
Slides into his DMs.
I'm the one that she wants to kill.
Want to see the disgraced one? Here, I'll show you a picture.
It's me. Yeah, shows him a picture of himself.
Yeah, that's a conundrum. That's a sticky situation.
On one hand, it's a bit of a conundrum, but on the other hand, I think we've seen before that Yuji is the kind of guy who's often willing to sacrifice himself in order to get whatever goals to help out everyone else.
Last time with the trial guy, he was
I think it's likely that
I did it.
Yeah.
Would Sukuna let him do that?
I don't know, because it's the sort of thing where, if he says, okay, you can kill Sukuna, here's Sukuna, Sukuna's gonna be like, nope, no way, and might just still be more powerful than everyone else combined.
I had one more question.
What's your other question?
Which is, if the angel hates reborn players, yeah, if that's like the number one thing on his or her agenda, how come he wants to kill Sukuna, who isn't exactly reborn? He's not even. He didn't start out as a player who got summoned into the game just to duke it out. He's part of Itadori, who then went into the game with him already in his backpack. Maybe
it's just a thing that reincarnated calling game players is shorthand for evil sorcerers from the past. Since that's the majority of them, that's my guess.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway,
I accept it.
How do you like this chapter? I liked it.
70 points.
Yeah, I said 7 out of 10 because I like that we finally get to see the main characters again.
They had a nice talk.
Yeah, they're having a little chat, but some things are still unclear. I don't like that they're hanging out so much with the dumb comedian guy.
Yeah, he's
the angel could be cooler looking.
Comedian guy, do you remember his power?
No, I don't.
If he thinks it's funny, it becomes real.
He's not funny to other people.
Yeah, but if he thinks it's funny, it becomes real. That's his power. Which is kind of funny.
It's a good power for a certain kind of personality that
it's
laughs
right
at their own
in with
jokes.
GINKA and GLÜNA.
You're right. Magic can do anything.
And imagine it. It's magic.
That's right. Anyway, going on. We got My Hero Academia, chapter 368. Rev up one for all. And
this is a really bold move.
Yeah. Very bold by Horikoshi.
Only Horikoshi would be so bold as to give us a color page. One of the highly coveted color pages that you only get every 10 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Right? It's finally his moment to do it one more time, deliver one of his trademark mock comic book American Marvel DC cover pages, and he just leaves the page almost empty.
Yeah, very brave. Some people would say lazy. Some people would say lazy, but
I know, right?
It's a bold move.
Normally, I would say that's so lazy. It's cheating. You can't just waste, especially not the color page. But Horikoshi is
the mad lad,
brazen even.
Yeah, and here's the Japanese version.
Almost
just a little bit more text on it.
Cheeky.
Almost. Yeah. So going on into the chapter itself, it's battle time. This entire chapter is just fight. Finally. Yeah, we've been waiting for so long for them. We've been waiting specifically for so long for Deku to punch Shigaraki, and now he does it a lot.
Right into the solar plexus.
That's right.
It starts off with Shigaraki. No, first Deku is like, is Shigaraki still in there?
Which I didn't like. I still don't like that. That
Yeah,
he's
and
he's so
Shigaraki's
focused on.
like, no, I'm melding with like these two souls together. It's a perfect amalgamation. You can't do anything about it. And Miura's like,
it used to be
bullshit.
100% Shigaraki, but then they poured 20% All for One in. And now they've put in another 100% of All for One. So it's basically like a
100%.
perfect mix now. But yeah, Mirio points out that no. It's not. He's not totally mixed with All for One yet, because when I said he has no friends, he got mad at it, like Shigaraki
in a
would.
really weird way.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did this, because sometimes you get those moments where you, the reader, know exactly what's up because you've seen like the fight between Shigaraki and Mirio. But sometimes you get in a situation where Mirio
say it
is gone and he can't say it, and then Deku has to figure it out on his own one more time. So this is like a godsend. This is
you say that, but on the other hand, it does end up being redundant in this chapter. Because one of Deku's previous avatar forms also notices this exact same thing just later on. So it's a little bit redundant, but it's sort of like Mirio justifying his existence in this fight by saying that.
She kind of just reconfirms that this is true, but I can just imagine a situation where it's so much worse that I'm really glad that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Deku has this burning eye effect on him that's so good.
Is that from which power? Is that the Fajin power that he's using?
I have no idea. Okay. Could be anything. I don't even care. Fajin is a stupid name. It's not called Fajin in Japanese.
Okay.
It's a completely different word, and it should have been translated as such. Mm-hmm. I forgot what it is. You can look it up on the wiki. I don't care what it is. I'm just going to say Fajin is stupid. Don't call it Fajin. But the effect really looks good. Like, look at it. Some artists would go so far as using computers to get a swirly effect.
Yeah.
Maybe even on the everything that they've drawn in the background. Mm-hmm. Even when it's not even the background they have drawn. Even if it's like
put a lens filter on it.
Yes, but Horikoshi doesn't do that, and that's really good.
I'm gonna hand draw it.
Not naming any names, but Horikoshi is better than certain other Apollo 13s.
Yeah, and he's using multiple abilities in conjunction with each other now, which I think is cool. That's like cool. He uses the Black Whip and other things to start forming chains.
Yeah.
Like Kurapika, I guess. Actually, this eye thing kind of looks like when they use what do they call it, the Gyo, to be able to see aura more clearly.
Damn, now I don't like it anymore.
Deku's power is becoming Nen.
You know, when Hero Academia started, people started calling it Green Naruto.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember that.
It's also nicking a lot of Hunter x Hunter, and now that you've reminded me of it, I don't like it as much anymore.
Oh, it still looks really cool.
It looks really cool.
And then,
it looks better than when somebody draws a pencil sketch on a napkin. It's like, here, this is the new chapter.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital. Save me. I don't get his new power that's being revealed. I think that's the second power, his quirk. He says it changes the speed of the target.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean he also has the power of Foxy from One Piece with his Noro beam
to slow you down? Is that what it is?
Because when you're slowed down, you can. It's essentially the same as if you had Star Platinum and you can stop time. As long as the target is stopped, you can just do this
page. Yes. Well, you're saying Star Platinum. I was actually thinking more of in Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
When you use
That's a practical application of that.
Yeah, when you use the freeze ability, time stop. Exactly. So he's just punching him over and over again while he's frozen.
I think the problem with that is you first need to get a good hit in.
Yeah, that's right.
And there might have been a possibility that Deku just can't get one in.
Missed. Oh, how could you miss this guy? He's so big and bulky now with his Kumar arm. Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah. So he does his Luffy Gear 3rd thing, and
people need to stop saying it's a reference to One Piece. Gears.
No, it's a reference to Top Gear, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, this Horikoshi just loves Jeremy Clarkson a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of the guys.
Isn't that the guy who got cancelled recently?
Is it? Oh, I don't know. I don't actually follow what goes on with them. I just know that that's one of the guys from Top Gear. Anyways,
Deku hits Shigaraki so hard that Jonesy comes out. See in the bottom right panel here where he's doing the Detroit Smash?
Yes. There's the faces of
the original
the originals.
One for All. And then he's looking at All for One inside Shigaraki. He's like, brother, check out my cool Fortnite dance. And
brother,
I guess it's happening.
I unlocked Deku in Fortnite. You're still using a default skin.
How embarrassing. I guess there's not really much more to say about this chapter. I really like this. This is my favorite chapter in the issue. 75 points from me.
Nice.
It's well drawn. It's getting shit done. Deku has really cool eyes now. And we don't have to linger too long on maybe Shigaraki's still in there. I have to maybe connect with
confirmation.
No, we know that he's in there.
The thing is that it's confirmation that Shigaraki is still in there. But the reason I wouldn't give it as high a score as you do is just that I still don't like the fact that Deku keeps saying that he's gonna fight to save Shigaraki because there's still that sad child in you. And Shigaraki even points out like, nah, that's not gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah, he's probably right. That's not gonna happen. But I don't like that. It makes it seem. I know that's like a typical good guy, quote unquote, thing to do, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make our hero the most hopeful guy. He still sees the good in even the most evil villain. A lot of people reference what's his face, Mark Hamill, for that. Like, oh yeah, he still sees the good in his father, even though he's like conquered the galaxy. But in a lot of the cases like this, then it doesn't feel quite as sensical because the characters don't really have any connections to each other that would make the hero really want to save the villain that much. You'd think that in this case, the hero's motivation would be less aligned with I'm gonna fight you so I can save your soul, and more aligned to I'm gonna fight you just to prevent you from killing all my friends. Because that's what Shigaraki was doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Maybe it would have worked out better if Bakugo was the same person as Shigaraki, in the same way as like Deku and Bakugo are childhood friends. If Bakugo had turned into a villain, Deku would always be like, no, I know the good Bakugo is still inside there. And like
flashback to Bakugo pushing him into the mud.
Yeah, but
the good Bakugo is still in there.
Maybe it's a bad example because Bakugo is a shit, but Deku doesn't have this kind of connection to Shigaraki. The first time they met each other, Shigaraki was basically pointing a gun at his head and was like,
basically, I think the only other way that it could work, but unless I forget, then it hasn't really been brought up at all, is the fact that both of them maybe would feel like they've gotten better superpowers via the previous generation training them up but for their own purposes. But the thing is, like, Deku, he seems to be so focused on being a great hero that it doesn't seem like he's ever had the feeling that he's being pushed by All Might. Because I think that there would be other characters who, in that situation, would get to the point where they've gotten the power from the older guy, and then are told, like, okay, now you have to train yourself up to live up to this ideal. And then at some point feel like, this is so damn hard, I'm never going to live up to this ideal. There's so much pressure on me for this. But Deku is like, he's so pure focused on becoming that great hero like All Might. They've never felt like that. And if he had something like that, then you could say maybe there's a connection there, that he would feel a connection to someone else who's gained amazing power, but also a lot of pressure from the previous generations. Since Shigaraki has gotten so many more powers, too many powers from All for One, but also is being merged with All for One's personality and literally has the pressure of become me on him. But that's not in the story at all.
Yeah,
That's just my speculation.
I could say a lot of things to that right now, but it's
will you?
It's not really necessary. I mean, it's true, but I would say I disagree in a few points. Like sometimes they point out how, like, oh, you have to smile if you're not happy if you're not exuding confidence that you can pull this together. Then it's all for nothing. And that was when Deku had his moment where he thought he had to beat all of the bad guys on his own, and people were like, no, you have to also... You can't be a zombie, otherwise we will hate you.
Only the child and the hot furry lady will stand up for you.
She's so hot. I think that... you're right in that Deku should probably struggle more with, like, the responsibility to take All Might's position. But at the same time, I would hate that, because that's one of those, like, those plot things that is kind of similar to, oh no, now the normal people hate the heroes because the hero did an oopsie, or... the other thing that I hate in superhero comics, which is, oh no, we have superpowers and now we get discriminated because the normal people.
I'm too cool. People hate me now.
If there's a few things in American superhero comics that I really hate, and those are a few of them. So I'm kind of glad when they don't happen. And all in all that you said just now, I would say, I would have to take points off of My Hero Academia as a whole for doing the whole Shigaraki's still in there and I have to get him out, and I must be the super nice hero who does all of those nice moves instead of just annihilating him. That rating will come at the end when the series is over. But for now, this chapter I can kind of ignore and just look at this chapter in its own right and be like,
you're right. I'm letting last chapter things I don't like bleed into this one. You know,
I
this
do
is
that
a
too
pretty cool
sometimes.
fighting.
Like when a series is just so shit, I can't be unbiased. But right now, it's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's nicely drawn. Things are happening. How can I say this is complete shit? If I liked it more, I would give it like probably 80 or something. 75
if it was a One Piece fight.
No, but One Piece is actually really good. So
going on, got Ginka and Gluna going into the bottomless pit.
Yeah, it's not as bottomless as I thought.
Yeah, they've actually gotten down there already.
So in this chapter, Ginka, Gluna, and Beretta enter the magic mine on their 7-star quest, where they meet another girl who has the worst design, and then they kill a bunch
unfortunate.
of crabs.
Yeah, I was disappointed that they've teamed up with yet another person because they're like, GINKA GLÜNA and Beretta is such a good trio.
Yes.
And then immediately they run into a new magician. They're like, oh, we're going to team up with you two.
I was a little bit disappointed at this initial establishing shot where you see that Magic Mine is kind of uneventful, except for these square holes, but that's not special enough.
No. You know what would have made it better with the square holes is if instead of just being holes, if they were like those Escher paintings.
Where, wait, that's way better.
Yeah, where there's spaces that just are not regular 3D space. Then you'd be like,
what's it called? Non-Euclidean architecture?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah.
These squares do make sense. I like the bottom right corner. I was like, doesn't that work? And yeah, it kind of does work. But I still don't like it.
They're not nonsense enough. If they were more nonsense, I would. Because magic can do anything.
That's right.
We get a little bit of world building, saying about the former era.
The Guild Giver explains how this whole situation came to be, like with the capital, and how they actually kind of rely on this magic mine, and it stopped like working, and people went in there, nobody's coming back.
They're in a city that has a bottomless pit-based economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it even explains why he was an asshole to Beretta, because the aristocrats would normally be like, yeah, we will just not handle this problem at all, even though all of the economy is based on it. And they're like, nah, that's kind of like annoying. Let's not do that. And he's like, no, you have to do it. My dad is also down there. And I guess it's giving him a little bit more reason to be an asshole, but...
Yes. Oh, one other world building thing that happens here is last time I was like, wow, the town that they're on is the capital already, and this time it's like, it's the capital of like some out in the middle of nowhere boonies province. So who cares?
Yeah. We can still go bigger city.
That's right. It hints at there's even more fancier places than this place with its bottomless pit-based economy. There's places in real life that are like that. There's like a capital city that's in a place that's otherwise considered the middle of nowhere, and was built there because they have a bottomless pit-based economy. And then due to changes in technology, then their bottomless pit-based economy goes out of business.
That's also how the pyramids got built, by the way.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah.
What did they mine around there?
No, it's not. It wasn't a mine. It was basically like, we have this natural phenomenon where we can only farm for like 3 seasons of the year, and in one season everybody's idle and everybody's getting pissed. So we have to give them something. Yeah, we have to give them a job to do, because otherwise...
Wait, so the pyramids were just busy work?
Yes. Yes.
So like, we don't have anything better to do. Let's build some big pyramid.
Yes.
That's funny. I never knew that.
It was a measure against people revolting because they were unemployed. So they gave them a job to build the giant pyramid.
Wow.
And that kind of created basically the whole pyramid. It was a pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme! The first one. Literally. Pyramid scheme.
So they had this, like, it was a gigantic city around the pyramid just to feed all of the workers. I've seen a documentary about that recently, where they were calculating how many chickens they were eating. And it's so many chicken McNuggets.
Wow.
They had so much. So it was a whole industry just to feed all of these people.
That's amazing.
And they were constantly eating like the best burgers and stuff.
Really? I do know that one of the things in ancient Egypt is how they paid people. Yeah. Because paper money, even though they had paper back then, they didn't have paper money. And Egyptian workers, if you were a freedman and not a slave, you were paid in beer.
Yeah.
So beer is the ancient Egyptian currency.
Yeah. Right, beer was also. Oh, they had to brew so much beer.
I know, yeah.
Imagine living in that time, being like one of those muscle dudes who gets
I
to
don't want
partake in the
to.
pyramid scheme. No, you would be so incredibly buff.
I know,
And
but that's because you're wasting so much time building pyramids.
no, the
Imagine how
pyramids look
long it
amazing when they
imagine
were
how
finished.
long it took to get Shonen Jump out in ancient Egypt because they didn't have modern printing technology. It'd have to be hand
That's true.
copied. Yeah.
But like,
It wouldn't
I
be
mean,
weekly.
Dr. Stone taught us that it wouldn't take that much time. If you know how to do it,
Mhm.
you can do it.
If you know, yeah. But most of us would be like that comic where the guy goes back in time. It's like, oh yeah, in the future we got like cars and airplanes and telephones, and the ancient people are like, oh, how do you make it? I don't know.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's why we need to
Unfortunately.
read Dr. Stone. We can't
right.
be the
Yeah.
hipster who's being brought back in time.
Yeah, if Bondo went back in time, he would be able to restart civilization.
Savior.
That's right.
Ginka gets a new facial expression. It's utter despair.
The void eyes, because Beretta's like, nope, I'm not gonna take the money. And
I'm
Ginka's
so
like,
glad I did that. Oh, it hurts.
Why would you do that?
Seriously, why would you do that? It's so stupid.
Unfortunate.
Then Anemone, Anemone? Anemone shows up and she's a VTuber because you can tell she wears her jacket half down.
That's right. I was gonna say
she looks so crazy.
She looks
it's
like
way overlaid.
I was gonna say she looks like I forget the character's name. Is the Konohamaru's friend in Naruto? Remember he's got that dumb
That's
friend.
And I know exactly who you mean, and I hate it because it's true.
Yeah, that's who she looks like. And I saw her, and the thing is, previously we said that Ginka and Ryuna are both highly goblinized, right? And they're very powerful, but they're not super knowledgeable about how the world works because they've been spending so much time up on the mountain. So we get Beretta, who's not as skilled as them, but is very knowledgeable about how things work because she is a aristocrat who works in the Magic Union. So I'm like, okay, that's a good little trio. And now we get Anemone, who is not as powerful as Ginka and Ryuna, also not quite as goblinized as them, but she is also even more knowledgeable about some things than Beretta is, shown as by her use of the wand that for some reason the others don't have. And I'm just like, her presence here, her knowledge, it's almost unnecessary. Yeah, because we could have just had Beretta tell them the stuff that she's telling them. Her design is not as good as Beretta's, so she's not of value there either.
Yeah, if you
and then her personality is also redundant to Ginka. And yeah.
If you had like one kick-ass design that you were dying to show off because you
and you couldn't think of how to put them in.
Danger that you get canceled, which is looming over everybody's
head,
except Oda maybe. But if you are in this one danger, you would probably want to get this one design out if it's really good. But this is shit.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Boulder crabs attack.
Yeah, they have a giant crab battle.
I think a crab battle.
That's right.
I think this shot was kind of impressive, almost. Although I think the number of crabs? Yes, but I think I did spot a few that got copy pasted.
Okay.
Mirrored, but copy pasted.
Yeah. Not as many as in Rings of Power, though. The copy-paste people on the crowds.
And then Ginka is being extremely extra by not just taking out the crabs, but also sculpting their carapaces?
Yes.
Carapaces into sculptures of themselves. Because why not?
Yeah, it showed at the beginning of the chapter, while they're in the minecart, that his hobby is carving things. So he's doing a little carving while he's there. And
Yeah.
it goes on later. They bring it back. He does a bunch of
Funny.
carving. Yeah. I like when they randomly just add stuff like that. Building character quirks.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. What do
all
you
in
think of
all,
this chapter?
I gave it more points than. When I read it, I liked it more. Now that I've talked about it, I kind of talked myself down.
I saw this. I gave this chapter a 6 out of 10 because like it's all right, but it's not as good as stuff like Hero Academia this week. Yeah. Mainly because I just don't really like Anemone.
Yeah, that's really a sore spot.
She is, as Manaka would say, an unnecessary woman.
Yes,
we don't need her here. And then at the end of the chapter, they're like, "Okay, let's travel together." I'm like, "Nah, you don't need to travel together. Let her go off and do her own adventure.
Yeah,
meet up later. It's fine to just introduce people, but I mean, we've got a good trio going on. Let the trio have their adventures more."
That's true. I accidentally gave it 73 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too high. Way too high. But that's how I felt when I read it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess
it's your true heart's desire. Your instant reaction. Your live reaction. That's what it was. Going
live
on.
reaction.
Something that we'll see if you like it more or less, because it's another
way less.
Another training arc, just like Blue Box. We got Akane-banashi, chapter 32, Yasaka-tei. Yeah.
In this chapter, Akane becomes a Zenza in training at the yasaka-tei, and she meets some new senpais.
Mm-hmm.
And
some
senpai.
Familiar faces. Yeah.
Yeah. This chapter was not good. This chapter was not good. It starts off with her at the Arakawa school, where she cleans plays, and I think they waste way too much time, like giving us this full page shot of her in her cleaning gear. That's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Full page. At the very least, we do get some funny phases where she's arguing with what's his name? Guriko Anisa? Guriko Anisa.
Guriko?
We have been missing these kind of things. There's not enough face art in the manga about an art form.
Expressing yourself with only slight motions and your facial expressions.
Yes.
Because you're just one person sitting on stage.
Yeah. So I don't know why it was necessary to show her in the Arakawa school, because this is all about her getting used to her new learning environment.
And we already had, in a previous chapter, her showing up here. But we don't get this shot in this chapter until halfway through the chapter, weirdly enough.
Yes, it's like when you watch a show and then it does the commercial, and then assuming that people might have just tuned in
after the commercial. It restarts several minutes before, and you're like, why are you wasting our time?
Exactly. So at the very least, I can really appreciate the architecture. And you can kind of already spot a few names here and there. For instance, on the left banner, you can see Konjakte. That's one of the one of the masters.
Rakugo. What do they call them? They're not emperors of Rakugo.
Union.
They're not the Rakugo Union, are they?
No, wait, the Federation.
Rakugo Federation. Yeah, that's right.
And one of his students is also showing up here, so it's kind of like his name or maybe somebody else's name. If you think about it, even Akane's name should be on one of these.
Yeah, it should be there.
Because this is all of these names is basically like telling you which show is on.
It's right. It would be like the billing. Or who's getting top billing on the stage?
I know, like when you have a movie where you see movie cinema and it says like Terminator 6
Yes.
because it's set in the future and it's supposed to show like, oh look, the movies went all the way up to that, or like
Yeah. Have we
whatever.
had Terminator 6 already, actually?
Technically,
We
yes.
might have already had Terminator 6.
Yes, but it wasn't
Let's see,
named that way,
one
so it doesn't count.
Was okay.
Doesn't
Well,
count.
I'm gonna consider it that.
By the way,
Even
the
if-
guy, the
Mhm.
guy left to Akane.
Yeah.
Look at him. He kind of looks like he's like, oh, sorry, I stepped into the shot. Should I wait,
Well,
or I
that's
don't know what
because
to do.
this was probably just the author went and took a photograph and then just traced everything.
Oh no!
So that was a real guy who was like, "Oh, I stepped into the shot," and the author was like, "I just keep it that way."
That's perfect. Assuming it was the author himself,
Yes.
maybe it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the assistant. The assistant drew the guy, and he's like, "No, why would you do that? You don't have to recreate the person who accidentally went into the shot."
Like, no. It makes it more real. That's verite, man.
Yeah, so Akane meets Karashi Nerimaya, who's now under Sanmei-tei. She also does a nice face here, like many nice faces. Yeah. For instance, she's really happy that she meets a familiar face. She loves it. It's so
nice. And he's like, "We're not actually friends. We met like once," and she's like, "I know." Still like meeting a friend.
I knew this guy. Then she finds in the closet, and it's kind of played like, oh, this is scary, but
they're trying to make him like what's his face in Full Metal Alchemist. Whenever you see Gluttony in the background, he's like this. He's in shadow, and you just see his glowing eyes and fat cheeks. That's what they're going for here.
I suppose, yeah. It's still not as scary as I thought it would be, especially because this guy kind of looks like a big doofus.
Yeah, well, duh.
And then we get to see another guy.
The leader of all the Zenza trainees. And he's like, "I make the rules here." And he looks like he's like the building. He looks like he's from another era with that hairstyle.
He's from the era where the rock shooting guy from Jujutsu Kaisen is from.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna his special Rokugo style is he shoots the laughter out of the swirl in his hair.
Just kills the audience.
Yeah, literally killing it. That's what comedy is.
By the way, his name is Asagao.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked that up. That's not just Morning Glory.
What else?
And well, the first thing that I was thinking of was Sleepy Face. I did know it was a flower, but due to Asagao, Asa is morning, and Kao is face, so your morning face, which means like just when you woke up, you still look kind of sleepy. So normally you would translate it as
or you're a flower who faces the morning.
Yes, and due to the flower being kind of like funnel shaped, that's also like Asagao is also a word for things that are funnel shaped, and somehow in the dictionary it said it's a type of urinal. So,
oh no, you don't want your morning face to be a type of urinal. That's bad.
I have to wonder if that actually was one of the considerations because this is a stage name, right?
Yeah, you're not going to name yourself after a toilet, are you?
Maybe you are.
Maybe. Is it funnier that way?
Is definitely a stage name because it sounds like but written, the first one is written with the kanji for cloud because that's and that's I suppose a pun. It's not as good as it's not even as good as Hero Academia puns.
So this is what's below. So Rokugo is what's below Hero Academia. When you go through the list, you got what do you call it? Ice Shield at the top.
Yes.
Then way down below, you got Hero Academia. Then way down below, you have stage comedians, stage names.
But only those from Akane-banashi.
Yeah.
And the ones from Joshiraku are really good.
Oh, okay. I still haven't watched that. I should watch that, shouldn't I?
You should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah. And Akane gets another face reaction because she doesn't like that she gets identified by the leader of the Zenza as, oh, you're that girl that Master Isho is trying to promote, right?
How can he get that so wrong?
That's
How?
it's probably that Isho tried to make it seem like that. He's like, yeah, I'm promoting her. Yeah.
Maybe, I guess. I suppose it's kind of like one of those points where you're like, oh, is this conflict? But then it goes nowhere. And it's not as elaborate as you make it up in your mind.
Yeah.
Just because it's like an unusual reaction to a statement that is incorrect.
Yeah, or it could also just be showing that people who are from other Rakugo schools don't know about the inner conflict within the Arakawa school.
So
they should. Yeah, it's possible, but you'd think that a professional would know. So in that case,
Shiguma is in the Federation. Isho isn't, and Asagao's master is in the Federation. He would know.
So in that case, let's assume that it's because of something Isho said that's allowing other people to imagine that he is promoting Akane, even though he's not really.
I was going to say this is a super lame cliffhanger. Just that Akane faces off with a senpai who's kind of a dick because he's like, superiority is everything in this world. I'm Albert Einstein. And the chapter just ends on her being kind of miffed about getting told that she's the junior now.
Yeah, which she should be expecting. Yeah.
She has already been the junior to other dudes. Now she's the junior to other dudes.
Yeah. She's like, I meant the new set of senpais. And they are also... Yeah,
that's the point. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't like it. I gave it 53 points. Oof.
I liked it pretty well. It's a new setting. And even though it is, a little bit of repeating, let's do a training arc again. It could be fun. We'll see how it does next week. Going on, we got Witch Watch, which this I used to say every week that not enough people read Witch Watch, and it's such a hidden gem in Shonen Jump. But lately, it's just kind of not been funny. A little bit. Yeah, it really has. Sadly.
This chapter does one thing that we'll get to that later. In this chapter, Kanji's geta, his sandals, wooden sandals, break, so he's forced to wear normal sneakers to a movie where Nico brings the statue of a tokusatsu hero to life, and he resolves the situation. So, first of all, I gotta say, I think Kanji is the weakest character in the main cast. I don't like him as much as any of the others. And I only like him when he's like in this panel when he's really embarrassed and really kind of pathetic. That's the only moment when I like him, because otherwise he's always boastful. He's kind of an idiot, and sometimes he's trying to be cool because the story has to make it look like
it's funny
he's not all bad.
I think it's funny when he tries to be cool and just totally fails.
No, I want him to be embarrassed all of the time. That's my... Not going to say that's my fetish, but I like it that way.
Your specific Tengu fetish.
Yes.
Yeah. So they go to the movie, and it's some dumb made-up superhero thing.
Yeah, and do you see these kind of situations in anime and manga all of the time? Where, this, by the way, this is a question, where the characters watch a movie, then they go out, and then they're like, this was such a cool thing, and when they did the thing, and this and that, was truly a masterpiece. I see this so much, where they just completely praise stupid, like, the movies that they're watching, it's always something made up, and it's always something that's kind of American, Kind of like when they like go to the newest Marvel movie, except they can't say it's a Marvel movie.
Right.
They always praise it into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the stuff they say make it sound like it's the dumbest movie in existence. It's always presented that way. And that's why it's such a nice change of pace that Moy
That
is
Moy
with
didn't
them.
like it.
He's criticizing it earnestly. He's one of the gang. He gets invited to Orekara because he can see when a movie really sucks, when a piece of media is just shit.
Do
When it
elves
does a
count as
thing
yokai?
that normies,
A little bit. Yeah.
we do. But like normies, always praise everything because they have no taste.
If you enjoy
Haven't seen
it
enough
and you're
stuff.
just thinking about reasons to like it, you'll just come upon a reason and be like, yeah, that's why I liked it, even if it's got lots of problems.
Now that I think about it, the few Japanese people that I follow on Twitter, because in brackets I try not to get spammed on my own timeline. When they come back from a movie and talk about the movie, this is exactly what they always talk about. Like, oh, I loved it so much. You rarely see somebody being like healthily critical.
I think for Japanese movie criticism in that way, we can compare those screenshots of what Kojima says when he sees a movie he likes versus when he sees a movie he doesn't like. When he likes the movie, he'll come up with all kinds of reasons for like, oh, I like this part, I like this part, I like this part. When he doesn't like a movie, he'll just say, oh yeah, I saw this movie. And Moy is breaking that mold and be like, oh, I didn't like the movie, but I'm going to tell you why I didn't like it instead of staying quiet about it. Yeah.
I like this. Just wanted to say this is happening so much, and
unfortunately,
unfortunately,
this is probably the only good part of this chapter.
Yes.
Because the rest of it is this ridiculous situation where Nico decides she's going to waste her magical power just to troll some kids by making a statue of the hero talk.
Yeah, and specifically, the character is voiced by Akio Otsuka. That's the voice actor of Solid Snake, among others. Like, for instance, he's also Moomin Papa. He's also Kaido.
Wow, he's in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the reason why we'll see.
This is one of those things where they name someone real.
Yeah.
And they're like, are they really going to be able to get that person for the anime? I don't think so.
That's what I was going to say. I think this chapter is just a thinly veiled attempt to get
Akio Otsuka work for our anime.
No, worse, to get Akio Otsuka to say a bunch of stupid lines that the author thought of, because I think it's relatively
just hire him on Cameo.
I think it's relatively easy to get him on board because I've seen him in extremely shitty roles, like throwaway gag characters who got only
like this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They only made it because they wanted Akio Otsuka to say the funny line, and I think this is one of those cases. And it gets even worse because they go to the next page. Since Kami's
he can't walk right unless he's wearing geta, so then he straps the dumb briefcase watches that were merch for the movie onto his feet.
And every time he takes a step, it plays one of those lines. Yeah. And it just spams all of these Akio Otsuka lines that are fake.
Yeah.
And
don't exist yet.
That's the main joke and the main punchline of the whole chapter.
Yeah. So that's even why after the adventure, he catches up to the runaway statue and is able to take it back to the theater after it reverts to being inanimate. And he's still wearing these on his feet, and they're still talking. So.
It's bringing back the joke from the beginning where he gets mad at being called short. Because the overlapping Akio Otsuka lines are like, "Oh, you're so little. That's your problem."
Mm-hmm.
I think the translation probably doesn't do it justice, but at the same time, I think the original Japanese also isn't as good.
It's not
so
that funny. Yeah.
it's not that funny. So
Nice
like
job.
you did a proper job at bringing the setup from the beginning back into the punchline. It's also
But-
not a good punchline.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can do setups, but you have to have a good punchline to the setup. You can't just point and be like, "Look, I set this up earlier."
Interesting
Actually has to be something interesting.
Interesting that we end on in this chapter on that note, because the next chapter is exactly that.
Oh,
But before that, I
no.
gotta say, this chapter of Witch Watch gets 59 points from me. I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
5 out of 10. I was not pleased with this. It's please get some better chapters for Witch Watch. Because I think this one and the the bread one, they're reliant on jokes that are either
Anime
puns.
only.
Yeah, it's kind of pun based humor.
And voice based humor.
Yes, this one specifically is voice based humor. When previously we had a lot of stuff that was more situational or character based humor.
Yeah,
and those were way better. So let's go back. These weirdly enough, these few chapters feel like filler, but they're in the manga. What would his previous boss, the Gintama author, think of this?
Sora, what's his name?
Sorachi.
No, Sorachi, yeah. He also made a lot of filler chapters, so he would be like, as long as you get paid, that's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, next
manga is Tokyo Demon Bride story. Ryogoku's fist.
Who's Ryogoku?
Ryogoku is a part of. It's a place in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
Okay. So is that going to be their code name as Ghostbusters?
Nah. So wait, I'll give you the summary, and then
it's about it means the monster they fight, doesn't it? Even though he doesn't he doesn't use his fists. Why would you say fist?
I don't know. Should be
his palms. Yeah.
Anyways, this is the chapter in which Jinta and Manaka go on their first officially assigned demon hunt together in Ryogoku, where they find a sumo-obsessed demon, and then they fight him, and then they go back home. That's the chapter.
That's it. So it does have one part that I really liked, which is the introduction of magic tools into this.
Yes, but first it starts off with the situation where they go together on the mission, and Jinta is looking at her like, "Oh, why is she so happy? Can't imagine why she would be so happy just because we go on this."
It's a date.
It's a date, right?
Yeah.
Normally you would have that spelled out, that somebody's like, "Oh, this is a date to her. Oh, I get it," and somehow it's leaving me hanging on that.
Because no one said it.
Is it is that the reason that it's playing it completely as if it's not because it's a date? But the chapter is playing it as if she's actually happy to hunt demons with him.
But what we know about her from before, we can guess about.
But I don't. Given what we know about the author, I won't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So what they introduce? Well, first of all, I gotta say I do like that she gets a new look for this chapter.
Yeah.
With the Sailor Moon dango hair, I like that. It's cute. And she gives him a book that you look through the hole in the book at any magical being, and it will give you information about it.
Yes.
And
it's a Pokédex.
Yes, a Pokédex. So he looks at her. And it says, Manaka Doji, quick to lose temper. And she instantly proves it by getting pissed off at the dictionary.
Yeah.
I like that. That was cute.
It was a good joke.
Yeah. And then they go...
A good addition to the arsenal of the series of having Pokédex that can give you information, like even if it's just basic information, that can be proven wrong or correctly immediately.
Yes.
That's a good setup for for all the coming situations.
And come to think of it, there's a lot in Witch Watch, the magic-based humor, where it would be situations caused by the dumb magic spells. But I can see if this series begins introducing more of these magic tools, then it could have more jokes like that, and that would be good. I like those.
Doesn't explain where they get this thing from.
Nah, it's from the demon world. Same place Monica comes from. She'll just go home and get these, yeah. And then they actually get to their assignment, and it's that there's an area where there's been giant handprints appearing, and things have been getting destroyed, and there's weird noises, and everyone's run away. So they go and they find this
really unsettling looking
demon. Yeah. So I saw this. Buff. He's so buff. I saw him. I was like, oh no. Okay, like Jinta, you might have to get squeezed by this sweaty old guy to level up.
You might have to sit on the cuck chair in the hotel room.
No. I was thinking more of like Jujutsu Kaisen. Go into the sumo dimension and get squeezed by a sweaty old guy, and you'll level up.
Already forgot this guy existed, but you're right.
Yeah. It's his cousin.
Might be as well. This shot, by the way, you get to see his weirdly specific pendant.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's kind of random why he would wear this. It doesn't have any purpose other than, this is the next best.
Kind of matches his eyes
later on. But it has nothing to do with sumo, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
So why is it here?
I didn't really pay attention to his accessory choices here.
You are forced to pay attention to it later on.
Yes,
the main thing right now is that this guy just looks way scarier and
very creepy
than any
looking.
of the other guys.
Yeah, the ones we've seen before are like normal human sized, and they were kind of weak. And then here comes this huge guy who can literally destroy buildings by smacking them.
Yeah,
and they're gonna fight him.
Monica has a reaction to him where she also roars, and it's always doing the thing where she doesn't look as scary as I would want
she should. She should.
This is one of the situations where she should become photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
I think this situation can only be salvaged, like these two panels, if in the anime, if it ever exists, they insert the sound of a mountain lion in here.
Yeah, they could do that.
I'm not talking about the mountain lion who's literally saying "rawr, rawr," because that exists. Look up mountain lion sounds. There's a video where a mountain lion literally sounds like a dude saying "rawr, rawr,
rawr."
And but there's another video where
I think because mountain lions have their scream. I wouldn't say it's a roar. I think technically it's not a roar. Because I think mountain lions, I may be wrong, but I think they're like cheetahs in that they're actually more closely related to house cats than they are to proper lions.
I don't know.
It's a screech instead of a roar.
You should know that. You're a cat.
Yeah. And then I think the scariest, though, is bobcats. Because they're smaller than mountain lions, so you wouldn't think that they'd make as scary of noises, but their screams sound like a lot like human screaming. And
from watching us,
there's clips of people who live near bobcats, and they're like, "Oh, there's a bobcat screaming out there," and it sounds like someone is being murdered because of the way that they scream.
Nice.
It's very, very creepy.
Sometimes I like creepy, sometimes I don't like creepy.
I think because mountain lion screams instantly recognizable usually as a mountain lion, as an animal. The bobcat screams, you have to listen a while. Like, is that a cat or is it a person getting murdered?
Or is it a cryptid?
Yeah, I think that's probably the origin of like Wendigo myths.
Who knows?
Random screaming at night.
Would you be able to defeat a mountain lion?
No, I don't think so.
What?
Not with
No, you
my
have
bare
to say
hands.
yes.
Well,
your bare hands.
What do I have? Yeah, what do I have? If I've got no weapons, then no, I don't think I could defeat it. I
Which
think
weapon would make you feel comfortable? A nunchuck.
not nunchucks. Maybe a bigger a stick. I could probably beat one if I had a proper strong stick. I think a gun would probably be the best bet against one.
You don't get gun. Only melee.
I do remember reading about one time where a cyclist got attacked by a mountain lion. It's kind of common in Western states for cyclists to get killed by mountain lions. But
really?
One guy got attacked though, and he just had such a rush of adrenaline that he was able to get it in a headlock and choke it out. It's like I think that's one of the few times that a human has defeated a mountain lion 1v1 hand to hand, no weapons. So I think other times
me yet. That's why you don't. Oh no, wait! I'm not a human.
Claws, so they have an advantage built in. Anyway, yeah, I also hope that Monica makes mountain lion. Yeah, that's right. Humanity's strongest weapon. Drop
Animals
kick.
Don't know what a drop kick is. That's
what she should have done to this guy, but she doesn't. Yeah. So, she does. She does have a strategy where she challenges him to sumo, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna do sumo," and she just pulls out her sword instead and cuts him, and it does the transformation magic. Yeah, which every time she does it, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like that one of our main characters has body horror transformations as her main ability. That's what she does.
This is where his pendant comes in. Mm-hmm. And I think it's too random to make him some kind of weird X-shaped circle.
Yeah. Could have had him merge with the sumo mat, the little ring that he sets up.
Yeah.
Anything.
That would have been better. Finally, this chart was kind of cool, I will say. Mm-hmm. I like this panel. Yeah. But Jinta's expression, his reaction to it, is stupid again. This is one of the things that I always say in Tokyo Demon Bride.
And
it's all set up.
At this point, he's seen it 3 times. Yeah. Why would he be so freaked out? He'd be like, oh she won.
He could keep the same dialogue, like, she's a real demon. Mm-hmm. But he shouldn't look scared. He should be like,
yeah,
like annoyed,
Jinta should be the straight man of this series.
Frustrated.
Yeah.
Not scared.
Don't want to have him be freaked out every single time, even though it is kind of freaky. He's used to it.
He should be, at least. And finally, she's like, I want to pay back all of the people who have been kind to me in the human world. I want to protect the city that I love so much. She's been
here like less than a week.
It's 3 days. And the people she has met is Jinta, number 1. Mm-hmm. His 2 sisters, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And
she's jealous of, by the way.
Yeah. And the shopkeeper, that's 4 people. This is like, I want to protect all of these people. Everyone. Yeah. You only get to say that
it's because Tokyo is actually a really small city. There's only 4 people there.
I never knew.
Yeah,
that's the secret. Anyways, that's just what I wanted to say. I gave this chapter 49 points because
I liked it better than that because I like the introduction of the magic tools.
That's the only good thing that happened.
Yeah.
And the one panel where she looks kind of...
you look kind of cool, Monica.
Yeah, get in.
Yeah. Anyway, next manga?
Black Clover. I just...
Chapter 339, Zetten. So this we don't really have to talk about this much. Basically, they introduce a new power, which is manipulate your ki to be an attack. So even without mana...
Black Clover before?
I don't think we've ever seen that.
Talking about ki?
Yes, there's been talk about ki because he's learned from Yami to detect ki. But before, in previous chapters, it's always only been detection. Like, you can see people's ki, so you can tell what they're about to do. You can see where they are, stuff like that. So it was like he's using that because since he doesn't have mana, he has to find some other advantage. And then this time, Yami's sister, who's like the new best character in the series, is like, okay, well, here's how you use your ki to do attacks. And the other characters, they introduce another guy who's this arc's healer character. And he's like, no way is Asta going to be able to do this on the first day. And then Asta does it on the first day. So, yeah, that's about it.
The way he does it is
You
really
learn a
cool,
new skill.
I would say. This is the effect of the bamboo he's supposed to split just disintegrating instead of a clean cut.
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
he's got dark energy, man. It's so cool. So I would give this I would give this one a 6. It's kind of boring, but I like that he's he's learning things. He's learning things.
There was one thing I wanted to say, just one note, which is when Yami's sister is going like, "Oh, you filthy foreigner, don't take our kindness for granted." I would say that's a direct message to all of the tourists who are about to flood the country this month.
Everyone who's about to go on their own Wano training arc.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that now. And she's like, no, don't take Japanese kindness for granted. That's funny thing I wanted to mention.
A tsundere girl will cut you down, but you'll probably like it.
Yeah, some people will like that.
That's right.
Anyways,
next manga.
Chapter.
Armageddon.
That's the reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a chapter where the asteroid comes to Earth and humanity is doomed, except Roboco might be able to...
Oh no, it's visible. Damn it.
Huh?
Oh, I found got a, what do you call it? MIDI version of the theme song from Armageddon. So I'm gonna play that in the background when we talk about this.
Okay.
There's a Japanese version.
Japanese version?
Yeah, of the cover page of the Roboco.
Oh yeah. Wait, I can't see it anymore.
Oh no? Why can't you see it?
I don't know, but we can. Ah, there it is.
Score.
So this is distracting. We can't do this. It just makes me want to sing the song.
That'll be our review, just singing the song.
No, I have so much more to say about Roboco. Because these guys show up, and I'm Bondo.
All the young men are
guys. So funny. All of these guys are characters who got introduced previously, and they all look like old geezers, but they're like 21.
They're all 20.
Each and every one of them. Early
and
20.
This is what they do. This is what 20-year-old men do when they think the world is about to end.
Well, you can't really show what they would normally do, but this chapter reminds me a whole lot of one of the best chapters in Yakumanga Biori, which you probably know.
I only know from the one
anime.
Yeah, no, the one just one page where it's the martial arts master.
Ah,
that's the only one I know. Yeah.
So Yakumanga Biori is without plot. It's just a bunch of chapters of like funny one-shot stories. And there's one chapter about asteroids coming to Earth, and everybody thinks the world is doomed, so everybody's going nuts. But some people still go to work and do their normal job. So there's the plot of the chapter is about a variety show with a bunch of celebrities as guests, and all of them, like, now that the world is ending, they all drop the truth bombs. Like, an idol shows up who's like, nah, actually, I'm 29, I'm not 17. I smoke, I drink, I'm a bitch. What about it? And
then the world doesn't end, and everyone knows their secrets.
Yes, because that's the punchline. One of the guests is a magician, and the magician's truth bomb is that he can actually magic. All of his stage magic were actually, like, when he's sawing somebody in 2 pieces, he's actually doing it and then healing the person afterwards.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, well, now that I've revealed that I'm a magician, I might as well actually, like, magic the asteroid away. And everyone's like, oh, no, You don't have to do that. Because now that they've
They were
all
expecting. They're like, no! Death would be better than everyone knowing our secrets.
Yeah, and this chapter of Roboco is kind of the same because there's a moment, for instance, where Akane, no, sorry, not Akane, Madoka is trying to.
She wants to tell Bondo
how she feels, and then Roboco's like, I actually can magic the asteroid
I can stop
away.
the asteroid.
Anyways, Mr. Second Year is the true hero of this chapter. Normally, I hate this guy. Whenever he shows up, I hate it. But this time he was good because he was like, shucks, the jump department, the editorial department, it's so much like hell that I'm actually looking forward to this.
He wants to be destroyed by the asteroid. But he doesn't get to be because Roboco will save them all.
Yeah. Even Gachi Gorilla and Matsuo turn crazy, but as always, they do.
As always, yes. It's the
Has to be expected.
Yeah, I didn't like the punchline of them actually being good. Was that they're going to tidy up after the Earth before it gets destroyed? I was like, I would have preferred them to be doing like nice things for their neighbors instead.
Yeah.
It was a disappointing version of the joke. Even though, like, every time you see them looking like this, you're like, they're going to do something really nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing that it could have been a better one for the end of the world.
We do get another montage, as always, where it's just throwing out random ideas
and we see Roboco. This is how she trains.
Yeah, this is how she
to
trains.
Save the world.
But way more importantly is that Akane, from the Roboco Akane, is confessing her feelings to Gorilla, and it's like completely sidelined. We don't know what's happening. This is so important.
No words.
It's the culmination
Will
of
it
so
ever
many
be brought
chapters.
up?
I
Will
hope
we
it
learn
does.
what happens next time?
So important.
Yeah, but before that,
Roboco-
Roboco powers up to save the world, and I actually really like this gag.
Yeah, she looks so cool. This is drawn so awesomely. This is what it would look like in Dragon Ball.
The lightning, yeah, literally.
Her apron is flipping up a little bit from the sheer
wind,
energy.
The power of the wind created by her power level is rising.
And then the joke is that
it's
just a makeover.
Like, I got a makeover. I was sort of disappointed that they did that joke, but they didn't follow through with it because in later pages she looks normal again.
No, she immediately gets her contacts and stuff out.
Yeah, I wanted her to keep that look for the rest of the chapter.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was kind of almost scared that maybe this is the perfect moment to actually end the series
because they talk about it. Roboco highlights it. She's like, "This is like a final chapter. I'm gonna go and sacrifice myself." My other thing is, I think we mentioned last week, like, what if it becomes like Earthchild and they have to go on a Roboco retrieval arc?
I have a suspicion that was in the cards, but they eventually decided against it when the notice came that Earthchild is getting cancelled.
Yeah.
Probably because this is like he prepared the plot line and then in the middle of it they got told, oh, by the way, Earthchild is ending, you can't reference it. It would be too bad. And then it's like, shit. That's right. So Mr. Double, what's his name? Second year
editor guy.
Saved the day by saying, no, Roboco is still going on. Check out the next volume. There it is.
It's not the end of your series. He's got the blanked out cover.
Yeah, you can't tell what it is.
We don't get a preview, even though Bondo did.
Maybe in the tankobon they fix it. That would be funny.
Yeah. Well, this is an alright chapter.
I liked it. Yeah. 69.
Yeah, it said 7 out of 10. Nice. Going on, we got Elusive Samurai, chapter 80. Ideals.
Yeah. This is the chapter in which Ayako defeats Ichiro, the guy who's on the Sigma grind set and always imagining
with
his imaginary waifu. And at the same time, we find out that Yorishige planned the whole thing about tiring out Shibukawa from the start.
He even told Uno, if you don't win, just make sure you tire him out so someone else can win.
It's treated as if it's such a mastermind plot, but
really it's a backup plan because you'd think that plan A would be Uno beats him
Yes, that would have been ideal.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then
and
they treat it
also,
as if like, oh, this is all going to plan.
we challenge the strong enemy one after another until he gets tired.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
how you
plan.
get him. Just throw dudes at him. Eventually, one of us will beat him. I think it'll be this guy, even though he lost before.
By the way, in the previous panel, when Yorishige is doing the face rub thing,
Yeah, he switches from planning to give a rub.
from now
to Tokiyuki.
on, I'm going to imagine that the face rub is just a stand-in for like violent Frenching. He's making out with him so hard, and then he just leaves.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get.
That's how I'm going to look at it from now on. They're fighting, and
yeah, they beat him.
The trick was to attack the horse.
Yeah, poor horse. But this,
I would say this is an extreme.
This is realistic.
No, yeah, but it's an anachronism because they fight with swords, and normally they would fight with spears. The guy on the horse and the guys on the ground floor. Yeah. Everybody would have spears. The sword is just a backup weapon, even for the samurai. So it's kind of stupid to like treat it as if, oh no, he's so strong. He's such a good sword fighter. Just shoot an arrow into the butt of the horse from afar. Nobody can catch an arrow from the air. It's impossible. It's physically not possible. And if that doesn't work,
if you're far enough away,
surround the guy with spears that are just a little bit longer than his spear.
Right. It'll be fun.
Poke the horse dead, dude dead.
Yeah,
the end.
Do that. But they do have him getting suplexed. That's how he's defeated.
The extremely strong 12-year-old girl is able to suplex the grown man in full armor off of a horse, and then he die.
Yeah. Although the way he dies, she actually pins him, and her buddies also each grab onto him, so he really can't move at all. And she's like,
surrender.
Okay, we got you. Surrender. And he starts talking about Tsuruko, his dancing angel Tsuruko. And now even though fighting, he's noticed some things about Ayako and Shizuku that they're rivals in love.
And the funny thing is, go to the page where she does the thing.
What
the next one?
Oh, she doesn't do a thing. He does a thing.
No, look, he's talking about like, I wanted to have that trait for my OC because that's kind of cool. And the way she reacts to it is as if he had said something that upsets her. Like, no, I have to silence him. She immediately cuts off his head without even saying anything to him.
You have misinterpreted this page. That's not what happened. She is shocked because he's saying, oh, I wanted to study your emotions and facial expressions. See at the top panel, he's raising his head off the ground. Yeah. He actually twists his head really quickly to slit his own throat. Because he's like, I'm done anyway. The only thing I would have wished to see more is this girl so I could know more about my OC. But I'll kill myself instead of letting myself be captured. So that's what she's shocked. That's what she's shocked about. Because
this guy was like, no, shut up.
No, she's pinned him and she's like, I've won. I've gotten this guy to surrender because I'm holding a blade to his throat. He can't do anything. It's like, actually he can do something, but it's cutting his own throat. Because he just really quickly turns his head into it.
Shit. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense than her just angrily decapitating.
No, it's not her doing it. He did it to himself. And he does have a cool last line. It says, happiness doesn't come from achieving one's goals. It exists while pursuing them. Even though his ideal is just his OC.
It's okay.
I really like this chapter though.
It was good.
Fine. Gotta pour out respect for Ishido. But anyway, I actually gotta go now. So
no.
We'll have to reconvene later and talk about Super Smartphone and Aliens Area and PPPPP.
Those
we
are
don't
kind
have
of
much
shit
to say about
anyway.
those. Yeah,
So
I did kind of want to talk about Super Smartphone at least, but yeah, I'll see you later.
okay.
Yeah, I've been Principal
Bye.
Fine. You've
Oh,
been
I'm
Maxi
Maxi
Hamburger. Yeah, and I don't have a funny thing that's still beginning. So, bye.